Hey there, nutrition enthusiasts. I'm Daniel and I'm super excited to post this video because I'm going to give you tools for everyday life. And in the end, I'm also sending you a guide to help you make your choices. Today, we'll continue building that foundation, giving you all the fundamental knowledge that will make a massive difference in your health. There are lots of different lifestyle changes that help you, but if you could pick only one strategy to regain energy, it should start with food. And it can also help you in other areas you might be trying to change, like weight loss, health, mobility, maybe strength. And if you're like me in the past, when I didn't pay attention to nutrition, I didn't exercise, I didn't sleep enough, the consequences about that is that I was always exhausted, I was frequently sick, my mind was foggy, I had lots of headaches, I was always taking medication. And the biggest problem was also that I didn't know anything could be different at the time. It was the only reality I knew until my 30s. Then I started learning and making progress. And learning is great. That's why we're here today, right? But you know what? The first step to better health, more energy, weight loss, any goals you have is taking action. It's not about an ideal situation. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. So imagine how much you can achieve in just 12 weeks if you commit to consistent small changes. It's not about knowing everything, it's about doing something. And we often fall into that trap of knowing a lot and trying to learn more, but not doing much. So let's bridge that gap. Let's talk about the practical ways to make your choices around macronutrients, which are proteins, carbs, and fats. So they're called macro because they are the nutrients our body needs in large amounts for energy and for overall function. Let's break them down in a way that's easy to grasp. First up, we have proteins. They help you build muscle, boost your immune system, and keep your hair and nails strong, and much more. So we need a good source of protein in every meal. So foods that are rich in protein are meats, beef, chicken, seafood, also cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, eggs, especially the egg whites, but everything will have a little bit of protein in it. So we have here some cereals and beans and nuts. Nothing comes isolated. Everything will have a little bit of fat and carbs, but these foods you see here have predominantly good protein. Next, carbs or carbohydrates, which are the body's primary source of energy. They are essential. But not all carbs are equal, so you are going to choose the unrefined and complex carbs, like whole grains and veggies, to have sustainable levels of energy throughout your days. Now you can see we have carbs in fruits, legumes, vegetables, grains. So if you pick bread, try to have whole grain bread. Here again, everything here has a bit of protein and fat in it, but mostly carbs. Last, we have fats, essential for brain function, for hormone production, absorbing vitamins, and much more. So don't be afraid of fats, embrace them, especially the healthy ones, like avocados, nuts, extra virgin olive oil. And here you can see also the seeds, different types of nuts and coconut. You can see a lot more examples in the food guides that we will provide to you. Now, I could talk about numbers, and if you are a more analytical person and you like to see the numbers to make your choices, go for it. The recommended daily intake for protein as a general rule is to take your body weight and divide it by 2.2. So if your weight is, for instance, 150 pounds, divided by 2.2, that gives you 68 grams of protein per day. If that's your goal, then you can't have 68 grams in one meal. You have to get maybe 15 to 20 grams per meal. And if you like numbers, you should also know that 45 to 65% of your daily calories should come from carbohydrates, 20 to 35% from fats, and 20% from protein. But of course, you can't carry a scale everywhere. It takes time to measure and calculate every meal. So most people prefer a more visual way to make that decision, and that's why we have our meal guide. So instead of scales and calculators, you can use just your hand as a reference. You can use palm size, handful, thumb size, or a fist for a reference and choose how much protein, carbs, and fats to put on your plate. Portion control is key. Think of your plate as a canvas, half filled with veggies, a quarter with lean protein, and a quarter with healthy carbs. Simple, right? It gets tricky if you try to have too much protein because you heard protein is good, then you pick an extra energy bar because it says protein bar on the label, but it also has processed fats and sugars in it. Nothing comes isolated. So you end up having too many calories. You can always minimize that risk by having whole, natural foods. Whole foods are just balanced for you and they fulfill you and you get satisfied, and processed foods do the opposite. Even the ones that look healthy, like morning cereal, cereal bars, and others, their formula will trick your brain to overeat it, always. And then comes the fun part, finding sources of healthy proteins, carbs, and fats. So hit the grocery store, you explore the farmer's market, read labels, try new recipes. That's when you have that learning process and action combined, and that is progress. It feels great when you realize you're getting better at something and making progress. We'll keep it simple for today. That's it for macros. This is still just the beginning. In the next sessions, we will have more practical tips for your nutrition journey to make it enjoyable and sustainable. As a thank you for joining us, I'm offering an exclusive nutrition guide and some tools to help you kickstart your journey. So if you want our free nutritional guide and resources, that will be your reference to do what we talked about today. You just comment guide below and we will send them to you. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about progress. So stay curious, stay committed, keep learning, and let's make those 12 weeks count. I'll see you in the next session.